Okay, in this lesson, we are going to talk about finding the distance between 2 points. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to say, I can tell the distance between 2 points with the same first coordinate or the same second coordinate. As we talked about earlier in this unit, the concept of distance always results in a positive answer. So there's no such thing as a negative distance. Keep that in mind as we go through this lesson. In this case, the car just drove 10 miles forward. Now, the car drove 10 miles backwards. So how far did the car travel? 0 miles, 10 miles, or 20 miles? The answer to this question is that the car drove a total of 20 miles, 10 miles forward plus 10 miles backward. So in all, the car traveled 20 miles. When you find the distance between 2 points, your answer will always be positive. In this case, the distance between these 2 points is 3 feet. What is the distance between these points? Well, to do this, I just have to simply look at my 2 points, 13 and 5, and subtract them. So the distance between point 5 and the point at 13 is 8. To find the distance between these points, between 0 and 7, I simply have to take my higher number, 7, and subtract 0 from it, which gives me 7. This is also the absolute value. And remember, a number's distance from 0 is called the absolute value. So the absolute value of 7 is 7. To find the distance between these points, I would have to look at the absolute value of -6, which is 6, and subtract 0 from that, which gives me 6. Because -6 is 6 units away from 0. And we've talked about that earlier in this unit. But what if I want to find the distance between 2 points on the negative half of my line? Well, I would simply ignore the negative sign and subtract 8 and 3. So 8 minus 3 is 5. But what if I have points on opposite sides of 0? Well, to do this, I could simply start off by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can see that there are 11 spaces or units between -6 and 5. So that's the distance. But if these numbers are really big and I don't feel like counting them all, I could simply find the absolute value of each. So the absolute value of -6 is 6, and the absolute value of 5 is 5. Now, once I know how far each of these points are from 0, I just add them together. 6 plus 5 equals 11. Let's look at another example. If I wanted to find the distance between -4 and 8, I could count from -4 to 8 and find out how many units that is. Or I can think, what is the absolute value of -4? How many units would I have to go to get from -4 to 0? And the answer is 4. Then I look for the absolute value of 8. How many units do I need to go from 0 to get to 8? And the answer is 8. So altogether, to go from -4 to 8, I had to go 4 units to get to 0, then another 8 units to get to 8. So 4 plus 8 equals 12. 12 units. That's the distance. Here's another example. How far is it to go from -7 to +7? What's the distance between these points? To do this, I would find the distance of -7 to 0, or the absolute value of -7, which is 7, then the distance from 0 to +7, or the absolute value of +7, which is 7. Then I simply add these two distances together. 7 plus 7 is 14. Let's do some practice. I'm going to give you 2 slides. The first slide will have 3 problems, and the second slide will have 3 problems. So altogether you will have 6 problems to do. Don't forget to WSQ in your notes, and do these 6 problems in your notes as well. You can go back and watch any part of this video, or you can watch the whole video as many times as you need to understand the material. Now find the distance between each of these points. Pause the video and do this work in your notebook. Now find the distance between these points. Again, pause your video and do this work in your notebooks. Don't forget to WSQ.